Hello everyone, and welcome to a more relaxed video here at Soyachincho, where I'm going to be taking you guys on a ride to hell. Okay, I was just kidding about the whole taking a ride to hell part. We're not actually going to hell, you know. We're just going to hell in Diablo IV. Yes, that's right. Ever since we did our review of the ROG Ally, one game has kept me up at night the most with Asus's new gaming handheld. That's Diablo IV. Which is actually kind of strange because I'm not a Diablo fan. In fact, Diablo IV is my first ever Diablo game and one of the few ARPG games that I've actually played. I mean, I've played some ARPGs before, like Tyranny from Obsidian. It's one of my favorite all-time games, but none quite exactly like Diablo IV. I've never really bothered with Diablo at all, in fact, mainly because all I ever hear about it was the grind, which we'll get into, but for now I just want to talk about running Diablo 4 on the ROG Ally first. Yes, all the hours so far with Diablo 4, for me anyway, have been with the ROG Ally, and for the most part it's been absolutely great. 60 frames per second is pretty much no big deal, with only occasional hiccups bringing it down to 50 frames per second, which again is absolutely fine. You want to tweak the settings a bit though to get it running as well as I did. I personally prefer to have it running at turbo mode, as this gives me the best the ROG Ally can offer. Running at 1080p, the native resolution of the ROG Ally, I've also set the ROG Ally itself to run at 60Hz because, if I'm gonna be honest, you weren't getting 120Hz at 1080p anyway. My overall quality preset was mostly in the medium, though I did make some tweaks just to increase visual fidelity a bit more. But arguably, the most important thing you'll want to have turned on though is AMD FidelityFX Super Resolution 2. Now, in case you have not heard of FidelityFX Super Resolution or FSR before, it's similar to NVIDIA's deep learning super sampling technology, where it essentially upscales your image to enhance frame rates. It differs though from NVIDIA's DLSS in that it relies less on AI computational power and instead more of a post-processing algorithm. It's not going to be as impressive as NVIDIA's DLSS solution, but it is easier to run and is open source too, meaning unlike DLSS that's only for NVIDIA GPUs, you can run FSR on AMD, NVIDIA, and even Intel graphic cards. Of course, that won't matter for us today as the ROG Ally uses an AMD RDNA 3 based integrated GPU. With Diablo 4, you really need it turned on though, and while Asus themselves recommend to have it at quality mode, I find that switching it to performance mode just gave me that little bit more of a 60 frames per second stability without really losing too much on graphical fidelity. Maybe if you have it docked and outputting to a larger display, the performance FSR setting will become much more noticeable. But if you're like me who's playing Diablo 4 on the ROG Ally and the ROG Ally only, it's fine. We'll have our full preferred settings on screen right here for you now. Now, there are some things you want to take note of though. For starters, this is again running on turbo mode, so battery life is pretty much thrown out the window. You can probably get away with performance mode if you want. I found it giving anywhere between 45 to 60 frames per second. But if you really want to fine tune it, you can always head over to the Armoury Crate SE app on the ROG Ally and manually tweak the TDP closer to maybe 18 watts just to give the Ryzen Xeon Extreme that little bit more juice without sacrificing too much battery life. As for the game itself, it's actually kind of fun. I think I finally sort of understand now why people really like Diablo games. There's the gameplay loop there of doing missions and fighting hordes of bad guys and clearing out these massive procedurally generated dungeons to find better loot. And then with your better loot, doing even more missions and fighting even larger hordes of bad guys and clearing out even larger procedurally generated dungeons to find even better loot. And then using the even better loot to... you get the idea. Basically, the replay value is kinda endless, and seeing that Blizzard, the developers and publisher behind it, will be rolling out even more seasonal content soon, I think Diablo 4 will be around for quite a while. Granted, that does come with the caveat that a lot of the new cosmetics will need a paid battle pass too. Also, if like me, you've never played a Diablo game before, then you might be scared of the whole new season needs new character kind of thing, but don't be too worried about it. My advice is to just play the game first. Finish the story, you know, do your side quests and stuff like that. And only after that do you actually need to care about creating new seasonal characters to do seasonal quests and whatnot. Also, don't be afraid to mess around with your builds and loadouts, as redoing your skills and stuff is pretty easy to do. It costs a bit, but after a while you'll realize that earning coin really isn't a problem in Diablo 4. And speaking about story, I won't spoil it too much. It's actually really good. It draws you in with the whole classic tale of good versus evil, though very early on you sort of get an idea that it's not as black and white as it may look. Lilith, the game's big bad villain, is also portrayed as a creepy but somewhat poignant character. And throughout the story, you'll find plenty of other side characters and companions that'll keep you busy no problem. Even the NPCs in town that do nothing except give you a response add to the whole story and world of Sanctuary. Overall, Diablo 4 has been an excellent game to play on the ROG Ally, and I look forward not only to the new season, but also maybe trying out harder difficulties because I'm a scrub who just picked up Diablo. And yes, I died. Many times. If you're a fan of Diablo who's been playing the new game on the new ROG Ally, let us know what your experience has been like. What have you been up to in Sanctuary and what kind of player are you? Are you a big brawling barbarian like me, or do you prefer to sling spells from across the map? We hope you've enjoyed our slightly deeper dive into Diablo 4 on the ROG Ally, and remember to subscribe to Search and Chow for more. This has been Raymond, signing out.